The unsettling reason why DARPA is studying Buddhism. Rick Strassman, and this video is by Danny Jones Clips. I'ma like his video, like my video, support your boy. Let's find out why DARPA is studying the Buddha, the Buddhist niggas. You feel me?
During the Vietnam War, when that monk lit himself on fire, the burning monk.
Yeah.
That was, I think, at one point one of the most like famous images on planet Earth. It was like the most shared. More people saw that, and that was
I don't even know what that is. What y'all know about that? The monk who lit himself on fire? I don't know nothing about that.
From what I understand recently. Zoltan was explaining to me that a lot of people think that was like a political thing that he did, but according to him, and according to other Buddhists, is that monks absolutely wanted nothing to do with any sort of political ideas or movements at all. Like they were almost like the idea of their practice was the actual opposite of politics. So what he believes that burning monk was, it was a call, like a recruiting call, because from what I understand is more people got interested in Buddhism and meditation after that. Than ever in history.
Yeah, well, speaking of the Defense Department and DARPA, when I was at Stanford, I took a class on Indian Buddhism by a freshly minted PhD from the University of Wisconsin, who told us that these departments around the country were established by the Defense Department to understand Buddhism, because they were thinking, who are these monks that set themselves on fire?
Yeah.
And so they established centers of Buddhist studies at a number of American universities. Yeah, and she was one of the grad students.
Right after this happened?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Great story, huh?
That's bizarre. Oh my God. I don't even know what to think about that.
Yeah, it was a national security kind of issue, which I can understand, but it had
they wanted to understand how you can attain that level of self-control or enlightenment to where you can light yourself on fire and not even blink an eye.
Yeah. I think it was of interest to understand, what is Buddhism? What do they teach? How did they do it?
Oh, God, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's it established a number of centers of Buddhist studies around the country. So there was a positive outcome. Yeah, but the motivation was kind of mixed.
I've heard lots of stories of not that it really relates to Buddhism in particular, but lots of people like high up in the Defense Department and like intelligence agencies, and even people that are involved in like rocket launches, like with NASA and formerly for NASA and now for SpaceX, that are really into this idea of Rosicrucianism.
Wait a minute.
Really? Yeah, I don't know.
I know about Rosicrucianism, but wait, so NASA is SpaceX now? Or are they saying that niggas from NASA went to SpaceX? Gotta look this shit up. Hold it. Fuck, I'm over here dropping shit. God damn it.
Know anything about that?
Yeah, I don't know much about it either, but like the basic idea of it is you can sort of follow these specific protocols to be more tapped into. This is like a kind of a Jungian idea.
Okay, so NASA and SpaceX are different. NASA is a U.S. government agency responsible for space exploration, while SpaceX is a private space technology company. They collaborate on missions, but SpaceX is not a part of NASA. That's what I thought.
Yeah, but like you can tap yourself into this like universal consciousness, and sharpen your antenna or increase the signal of your antenna to some other consciousness, and kind of like where you can download information.
Yeah. So how did they do that?
One of these.
Well, I know what's fucking crazy, bro. It's crazy how this nigga is speaking about that as if it's like some crazy ass concept. Like it's super, you could like somehow you can open your mind and tap into information. Like It's a fucking Tuesday, bro. You feel me?
These guys who's described in a book by Diana Pasulka. It's called American Cosmic, and he was I think a mission controller for NASA, and he explained it by like he would go outside and get out in the sun first thing in the morning, spend a lot of time out in nature, not drink caffeine, drink lots of water. And somehow like the idea of having lots of water in your system and no like caffeine or stimulants somehow tuned his antenna. And this guy claims to be able to download. Now this guy has like patents to all kinds of like
Really?
like crazy medical breakthrough patents where he's like made a lot of money doing it. And he claims that he gets this information from these downloads that just like come into his mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you wonder where that information comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, is that just, like a latent bit of information or associations that he hadn't made before? Or some kind of download from above. Yeah. Well, do you think I've always wondered whether it's all that important, at least from a psychological point of view, because it's the message, the information. It's the message, the information that's contained in that state that's more important than what the state actually looks like.
I feel what he's trying to say. I actually agree with this shit. When it comes to getting information, right? I don't give a fuck. Well, I do care how you got it. You feel me? But what's more important is the information itself and how true it is. You feel me? I don't care if you talk to an alien for this shit or if this was just a thought that has been cooking inside your unconscious mind for a grip. If that shit is true, that shit is true, bro. So I fuck with that right there because it's certain stuff where it's like you could say that what happened was this or it was that. And people try to debate about, well, was it this or was it that? Nigga, I don't care. Was it true or not? I don't give a fuck how it happened. Was it true? Was it real? You feel what I'm trying to say? You feel what I'm trying to say, bro? Yeah. I feel what he's trying to say. Facts.
Yeah, and what stood out to me about that is like it seems like the more you get away from technology, if this is true, if you can tap into something by following these protocols, it seems like the general consensus of it is the farther away you get from technology and the diet, the processed foods or energy drinks that we drink all the time, or the fucking what are those things, those caffeine pouches or nicotine pouches and all of this stuff, and the more you can tap into like this ancient antenna that we have buried in us to get information.
Yeah, those. I was wondering if those ketone bars contribute.
I'm sure they do.
You might get more fine-tuned.
Yeah, the ketone stuff's interesting.
Yeah.
There's this crazy story I heard of this guy who was like a whistleblower who was talking about how he worked for some like secret this private aerospace company where they were trying to recruit people for some sort of psychic program where they were trying to basically get psychics into the military and into intelligence to sort of control aircraft or to spy or whatever. And they found that the people with the most psychic abilities were people that were in third world countries that weren't connected to Western civilization at all.
Yeah.
And also young people. So like there was this.
What does that tell you? It tells you that in America, they're doing things either knowingly or unknowingly, which is fucking with our natural gifts. And it also tells you, because he said that young people was more, you feel me? It also shows that when you're younger, you may be more naturally connected with your spirit. Now, that's not to say that when you get older, you can't be connected, because I'm sure that there's various older people who are way more advanced than that 5-year-old who's firebending. You feel me? The old nigga could fire and water bend. You feel me? But nah, I really care about that first part with the American shit, nigga. In America, they fucking us up for a fact. We already know that, though.
Story that this guy told, and he was a whistleblower, and it was a count of like 2 people that corroborated it. That they went to Indonesia after there was like an earthquake, and they went there to rescue a bunch of people, and they were trying to find young people who were left-handed and homosexual, and those were the people with those traits that specifically had the high.
That nigga said he needs to be a young nigga. Right hand, fuck that. Left hand. And he gotta be gay too. If that nigga is right-handed and he's gay, we can't fuck with that. If that nigga is left-handed and he like coochie, can't fuck with it. Nigga, we need young, left-handed, and gay. If, like I said, if that nigga gay, but that nigga ambidextrous, we can't fuck with that nigga. I'm trying to be funny and shit. I just think it's fun. I could kind of understand that though, right? The niggas who are left-handed tend to be more creative. Niggas who are gay tend to be more feminine and receptive and stuff like that. You feel me? So I can understand why those would be conditions that they seek to find out.
Highest psychic, or they called it. Those were the people with those traits that specifically had the highest psychic, or they called it psionic abilities.
Right. Well, you know, the one thing, like I just moved to Albuquerque last year. I was living in a town called Gallup, New Mexico.
Albuquerque.
Well, in the county, actually, outside of town. And it was really quiet. Like it just was really quiet. You could hear yourself walk. You know, there'd be a ringing in your ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just really quiet. In Albuquerque, the main thing that I've had a problem with is the sound. Like it's really noisy in a city.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's more difficult to think. Like I would just be alone for days and days at my place in Gallup, and that's and I could be a lot more creative. Or
for sure.
Yeah, productive too. Yeah, with fewer distractions.
Yeah,
and the quiet was like it would produce a spiritual kind of effect at a low level.
Yeah.
Yeah, just being still because there's nothing to react to.
Yeah, I think
Wait, I'll be right back. Hold up. Had to handle something real quick. My fault.
there's definitely something to that.
Oh. Well, shit, that's it. My bad. All right, well. That was an alright video. I thought we would get more about DARPA and shit, but we still got some cool info about like how America's fucking us up. You feel me? I don't know. I'll end the video right there. I love you all. Catch my next video. Peace. The freak out.